Can you talk about either your orientation or your introduction to your orientation, to your, say, political or social commitments?
Well, I guess the best way to do that is to tell you the story of how I got sort of shoved into some of this stuff. I came out here to Seattle, and one of the first things I did was join the ACLU, and I was a young, fresh face, and it was a small group at that time, and I soon found myself being called the secretary of the local chapter, which wasn't much of a chapter. There were only about 8 or 10 active people. Very soon after I started practicing with a law firm called Caughlan here, I was asked by the leadership of the Communist Party to represent them in an action where the city of Seattle had breached a lease that they had to use the Civic Auditorium, the building that's now the Opera House, for a rally of their executive secretary, Earl Browder. And I agreed to do this, dictated the necessary papers in my law office, got called in before the senior partner of that office, who asked me if I dictated these things. And when I said he had, he said, well, would you like to get out of the office right now, or do you want to drop this case and stay till next week? And so, you know, I've always resented that. I would like to have been tempted at least. like Jesus on the mountain or something. But it didn't work out that way. And being young and green and having too big a mouth at the time, I mentioned when I went down to court, and the people in the courthouse seemed to be very interested and excited about the case and wanted to know how come such a young green lawyer was handling a case like this. And I mentioned the fact that I was connected with the ACLU, and it seemed like an ACLU type situation, whereupon the ACLU immediately had a rump caucus without inviting me and severed my connections with that organization. Something which 30, 40, 50 years later they apologized, and I guess an apology, among other things, gave me the William O. Douglas Award, which is their prestigious award for various activities that I had done, both while not a member and while later a member when I finally joined up again. So that was kind of my getting thrown into the struggle, and from then on I was kind of recognized as the commie lawyer. Had the Americanization Committee of the American Legion always have a couple of their members follow me around to any court case I had, even a divorce, to find out what the hell was going on. So I got kind of thrown into political cases, that is, political cases of a civil libertarian nature. At least I so regarded them from the very outset, and handled a lot of that stuff. Not a very good way to make a living, but with it comes along the opportunity to represent people in personal injury cases and other things, and be able to survive more or less, which is what I've done.